Hello and welcome to English Capsules. Today's capsule, reported speech. Introduction. Get your coffee ready and let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Here we are with a serious topic. It's a grammar topic that we start to deal with when our level of English increases a little bit. It is called reported speech. What we will do is to split this topic in several capsules because it requires a little bit of time. So this is the introduction. We're going to tell you what it is, how to use it, some changes, a little bit of everything. And then in our following capsules, we are going to start speaking about the different types and how to make the sentences using the different types, the transformations. Okay? So, for starters, what is it? Reported speech is also known as indirect speech, okay? So this is a grammatical structure that we use in order to say a message, in order to say something that someone else said, but without using the exact words or the precise wording that the person has used in the original sentence.
Normally, when I explain this to my students, I tell them that this is the structure that we're going to use when we are gossiping. Because basically, this
Exactly.
is what you do. You tell someone else something that happened or that you have heard, but you were uh, maybe not directly involved in the action. And again, you are
Mm-hmm.
saying what another person said. So instead of quoting this person, that would be saying literally the exact same words, what you're saying is giving
Mm-hmm.
a report of what that person has said.
We can give our audience an example here so that they know what we mean, and then we can go to the next parts. So, for instance, uh, she told me not to eat more chocolate or my tummy would hurt. So
Okay.
here we are saying, we are explaining in a way what the person said without using the precise words.
Probably the precise words of the person would have been, don't eat more chocolate or your tummy will
Mm-hmm.
hurt. Another example would be, Claire said we could visit her on holidays. So Claire is
Mm-hmm.
not here. I'm explaining to another person what Claire said. Okay. And probably if I use inverted commas, Claire says something like, you can visit me during my holidays. So if you pause for a second and you pay attention to the structures we have used, you will notice that the original sentence and the reported sentence suffer a number of changes. We need to pay attention to many things. So the
Mm-hmm.
first and the most noticeable thing is that we need to change the verb tense. And normally we go one tense back from the original sentence. So in a case like having present simple, my reported sentence is going to go to past simple. Okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to develop on this lately, but just to give an example, okay? We also need to pay
Yeah.
attention to the pronouns that we're using, because if this person is saying I is not me, is
Mm-hmm.
her or she or whoever is speaking, right? So we need to pay attention to pronouns. And finally, we need to pay attention to all the time and place expressions.
Meaning, like, if the person is saying here is not the same place where you are saying the statement. So here will be there, now will be in that moment, okay? Depending on the time and depending on the place. For example, if the person is saying that in the same place that you are, here will be continuing being here. I mean, you have to pay attention where the action is taking place in a way, and the time also.
And regarding time, in most cases, you have more than one way to report it. Like
Mm-hmm.
yesterday can be the day before, the previous day. So normally what I tell my students is that it's not necessary to know all of them, just the one that you feel more comfortable with. So you keep using that one and you keep making use of the same structure. I mean, if you have
Mhm.
like 5 structures, you don't need to know the 5 of them.
Something else is common reporting verbs. These are the verbs that we usually use in order to show what someone has said. The most common ones are said, told, like she told me this. Ask if we are reporting a question, okay, because we can also report questions. Then we can get really specific, like she explained, she mentioned, she highlighted.
Requested,
Yes, there are many to be more specific, but if we go to the commonest, these three would be the
basic
main,
ones.
most. Yes. Mhm.
So one thing that you need to bear in mind whenever you're using this is very common, especially when you're starting this, that you're going to use said followed by that. So most of my
Mhm.
students would say, Clara said that we could visit her on holidays. But you can also do it without the that.
Mhm.
That is not necessary. So you can say, Claire said we could visit her on holidays. And then in the cases of asked and told, both of them require an object. Okay, so in the first example that Nadia was giving is she told me not to eat more chocolate. Okay,
Mhm.
they asked me where the supermarket was.
So when we say object, we do not mean object as in a thing. Object means the part of the sentence, okay? The subject, the object. This is the
Mm.
object that we're mentioning here. That's why you said a person like me, for instance, okay? So it is important here to remind our audience that tell is not followed by to. If you want, you can say, she said to me, right? But in the case of told, you have to say, she told me without to. So in Spanish, they both mean the same thing, but in English, they are used differently.
Okay, and I think the last thing to highlight here is that all the reporting verbs are going to be in the past tense, in past simple. Okay, so it's always going to be used as told, asked, said, and well, then the more specific ones that we were discussing are also
Mhm.
used in the past simple tense. So in further episodes, we are going to discuss the different structures because it's not the same reporting a question than reporting a sentence than reporting an imperative, for example. We are also going to devote some time to talking about like the specific reporting verbs and their structures because depending on the verb, you need a specific
Mhm.
type of structure.
Okay, so before we go, remember to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, give love to our content, and spread the word to help our channel grow.
Also, remember that you can rate our episodes and comment on each capsule. Activate the bell so that you know when our next capsule is out. And take a look at the description and our Instagram account to take more advantage of our content.
Okay, that's all for today. Bye for now.
See you in our next episode.